series between the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. Okay, take it away.
On behalf of George Watson, and myself, this is Fred Fowler bidding you all a good afternoon from Comiskey Park, the home of the White Sox in Chicago, to bring you the second game of the City Championship Series between the White Sox and the Cubs being played this afternoon in Comiskey Park. The game will not start for about 5 minutes, but we have time to tell you about the crowd in the stands and also to give you the lineups for the game to be played this afternoon. Looking up in the press box up here, we would say that there are approximately 15,000 to 18,000 fans in the stands, both in the upper decks and in the boxes below, and it's a bright, sunny day. The fielders' clubs are all out on the field down there, all ready for the players to go out, and they've already warmed up and have left the field with just the pitchers warming up down in the bullpen right now. So without more ado, we'll give you the lineup for the game to be played this afternoon. For the Cubs to come to bat first, Galan is going to play center field. Cabaretta, third base. Herman, second base. Demery, right field. Hack, third base. Hartnett, catching. Jurgis, shortstop. And Lon Warnicki will do the pitching. For the White Sox, Radcliffe, left field. Rosenthal, center field. Haas, right field. Ventura, first base. Appling, shortstop. Hayes, second base. Dyke, third base. Sewell, catching. And Monty Stratton, pitching. The field announcer is just giving the lineup that we have just given you, and the fans are continuing to pour in. In fact, there's a goodly crowd that's already coming in. As we look out over the diamond here, incidentally, the umpires are just coming in, the 4 umpires for this afternoon, and they are Stewart, Barr, McGowan, and Ormsby. Stewart is at first base, Barr is at third base, and Ormsby at the plate. They're now taking out the balls and giving them to the catcher, or rather to the umpire Barr behind their umpire Ormsby behind the plate, filling his pockets with them. And incidentally, we're going to tell you that the grandstand is sprinkled with a goodly supply of overcoats this afternoon. You know, did we say something about football starting? That's right, it's football season right now. The baseball season is practically over with just the City Series to wind up the season. And the overcoats are coming more into prominence with mufflers showing up here and there. There's a very colorful crowd out in the stands this afternoon. There's a very mild, moderate, gentle wind blowing. In fact, I should say it was coming very gently from the west to southwest, west to southwest. Is that about right? Yeah, about southwest, George remarked. The breeze seems to be coming from the back of the box here, so it is blowing in a northeasterly direction, which will help if the ball gets above these stands in carrying it into that center field bleacher out there, which is about 440 feet. Yes, there's only been one ball ever hit in there. It'll have to be a little bit stronger wind than it is today to carry it really into it. Nonetheless, it is a perfect baseball day. It's one of those days that can be adapted to almost any sport, whether it's baseball, football, or whatever it happens to be. And there go the White Sox onto the field to take their position for the first half of the first inning. The White Sox all dressed in their white uniforms, and the visiting Cubs will be in their gray visitors' uniforms this afternoon. And now the game is just about to start, and so for the play-by-play for the first few innings, here he is, George Watson. All right, George.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're underway with the second game in the City Series between the Sox and the Cubs. Yesterday, of course, you know, the White Sox came north to Wrigley Field and taught the Cubs a few lessons in baseball by the score of 5-1. Vernon Kennedy allowing only 4 hits in the entire ball game, which was a crackerjack ball game to watch. Radcliffe's home run was something to really get a kick out of. The boys romping home one after another. Our pitcher's warming up now. Monty Stratton pitching for the White Sox with Luke Sewell behind the plate, and the first man at bat is Augie Gallant. Monty Stratton, a tall stringer out there, taking the rosin bag, goes down his cab, getting the sign from Luke Sewell, and the ball game is about to begin. Kick it. On behind him. Getting the signal and take body. This man Galan. And here it is. The first pitch. And ball one. Pitch. And I foul up into the upper deck just in front of us there and is missed completely by all concerned. Strike one. And ball one on Augie Galan. The stretch and the pitch. And he foul takes one into the midst of Mitchell for strike two. Strike two and ball one on the hitter. Rosenberg again. Marty Stratton, all right-hander, pitching to Augie Galan, batting left-handed. And an underhand shoot, which developed into a ball. So it's two strikes and ball two. 2-2. That one cut the inside corner of the plate, and Augie Galan didn't like that. He just kind of stood there and watched it go by. So it's one out. Augie Galan striking out. Watched that third one go by. Monty just put a screwball twist on that, and it broke sharply over the inside corner of the plate, which brings Phil Cavaletta to bat. And the pitch. And ball one. Ball one for Phil Cavaletta. Stretch. Cutting the inside corner of the plate for ball two. No out. One out, rather. Sorry. Galan struck out. One out, the first half of the first inning. And the pitch. A sharply hit ball down to the second baseman, and he is out. For the second out. Ball was hit down to Jackie Hayes, with plenty of time to field it and get it over to Zeke Manera. Which brings us Stanley Hack at bat, hitting right-handed. Two out. And he dusted him off that time. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that Hack? Oh, no, sorry. Billy Herman. Billy Herman is the batter. And ball two on Billy Herman. Ball two and strike one. Getting ready to pitch, the stretch. Another one of those underhanded curves. Broke sharply across the plate. Strike one. Ball two. Stratton getting ready to pitch again to Billy Herman. And Billy takes a nice cut at that ball. A high fly out into left field. And is taken very nicely by Ripper Radcliffe for the third out. No hits, no runs, and no errors for the Cubs in their first half of the first inning in this second game between the White Sox and the Cubs. Ron Warnicki on the mound. Breathing over a few to Gabby Hartnett. Boys tossing the ball around the infield. Cubs are tired in their great traveling uniforms today. And the White Sox coming to bat. The first batter will be Ripper Radcliffe, the left fielder for the Sox. Alon burn him down there like he usually does. Long, slow wind up, and then a snap, and away she comes. Radcliffe gets short of hand as he comes out. Naturally, the fans are pretty crazy about him, but what he did yesterday by knocking that ball out into the right field bleachers out at Wrigley Field. Now, Radcliffe is at bat. Ron Warnicki on the mound. And we're ready to go. Batting left-handed against the right-handed pitcher. stoop down and get some of that good old dirt to rub on that bat. Lon rubbing at the ball. Get that horse-hide a little loose on there so it will do a lot of twists and turns. Here she comes. Stretch and the pitch. And right over the heart of the plate for strike one. Strike one and ball one. Ball two. Cuts way out in the outside corner. Ball two, strike one. Radcliffe's the hitter. Getting ready to pitch. There's the windup. And a beauty right over the heart of the plate. Rather a slow ball. Had a very freaky curve. Seemed to kind of lob over it. Radcliffe stood by and just let it go. Strike two and ball two. Ball three. Ball three, strike two on Ripper Radcliffe. First man up in the Sox part of the first inning. This should be the good one. And Ripper Radcliffe gets the walk. Radcliffe on first. Brings up Harry Rosenthal, the center fielder. Rosenthal at bat, also batting left-handed. Radcliffe on first. And Warnicki getting ready to pitch. Gets his sign from Gabby Hardnett. Boys all in position. Watching first base, and here's the pitch. Strike one. Strike one on Larry Rosenthal. Radcliffe staying pretty close to first base. Lon's looking over there. Keeping him pretty well to the bag. Now a little leadoff. Watching him, the pitch. And he tries to bunt, but it turned out foul. So strike two on Larry Rosenthal. Boys striking the ball around the infield. Back to Lon Warnicki. He's still working on that ball, trying to get that cover loosened up a little bit. The rosin bag. Steps up to the slab. Gets the sign from Gabby Hardnett. And the stretch. And that was ball one. Ball one and strike two on Rosenthal. Ripper Radcliffe on first base. There's the leadoff. Leave about 10 feet off the bag. And right straight through the box, a nice shot single. And now he's held up at second. Throws a little wide. Holding Radcliffe at second. Rosenthal singled sharply right through Lon Warnicki. Went out into center field. So now Mr. Warnicki is in rather a hole. No out. The man on first and second, which brings up Zeke Ventura, or Hugh Hawes. Hugh Hawes at bat. Man on first and second. Warnicki is in a hole now. Foul off to the left up in the second deck of the grandstand. Strike one on Hugh Hawes. Strike one on Hugh Hawes. Man on first and second. And strike one on the batter. Warnicki watches first and second pretty close now before he tries to pitch. And there's the pitch. And ball one. The infield playing in close now and figuring that Hawes might attempt a bunt. Ball one and strike one. Ball two outside. Pitch in this instance happens to be the second strike lead. Off first and second. Warnicki getting ready to pitch. And here he is. And he bunts right down to Warnicki. Warnicki throws to third. Over. Way over the third base's head. Another run coming in. And third base. Warnke fielded and threw it way over the third baseman's head out into left center. A two-base throwing error. Seems to be an argument about it now. Abby Hartman is out there arguing with the umpire. Warnke threw about 6 feet over the third baseman's head and went way out into left center. And we have 2 runs in and pause on third base. A two-base throwing error. 1-1. He laid that bunt down perfect. Warnke could have fielded, which he did, and then threw the third to try and catch the man coming in second, but the whoop over his head it went and clean out into the garden. There seems to be some dispute about it now. Gabby Hartnett's out there arguing with the umpires. But it was a beautiful play, and from where we sit up here in the booth, it looked as though it was safe. But that's up to the umpire to decide. Bringing Hawes up to third base, and nobody else. Well, there's a picture of the ball game in the White Sox half of the first inning. Gabby's still arguing down there, but I guess it's going to go. So the 2 runs in, no outs, and Hugh Hawes on third base by virtue of that bunt he laid down. Warnke fielded and threw over the third baseman's head, which was a two-base throwing error. Zeke Benora is at bat. The right-handed hitter. Strike 1 and Zeke Benora. The stretch and the pitch. And ball 1 and strike 1 on Zeke Benora. Rudin Henshaw are warming up for the Cubs. Warnke finds himself in quite a mess out there now with 2 runs in, nobody out. The man on third base, and Zeke Benora at bat with 1 strike and ball 1. Ball 2, strike 1. Mr. Benora is the batter. Warnke getting his signal from Gabby Hartnett. The wind-up. And the pitch. And ball 3. Ball 3 on Zeke Benora with strike 1. Nobody out. The man on third. 2 runs in. And the pitch. And Zeke gets a hold of one, which is going foul into the lower boxes to our right. Strike 2 and ball 3. Nobody out. Score 2-0 for the White Sox in their half of the first inning. Warnke getting ready to pitch. And here it is. And he fouls another. Right back into the screen. So it's strike 2, ball 3. Luke Copley is the next at bat. Cubs on the alert now, watching every movement of Ron Warnke. And Luke fouls another over into the White Sox dugout. The count remains the same. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Drew Hawes on third base. Nice crowd out here today. Perfect baseball weather. A little chilly up here, but nice down on the field. And Zeke Benora struck out for the first out in the second half of the first inning. Luke Appling coming to bat. Hawes still on third base. Luke Appling, a captain batsman of both leagues. And Luke gets a mighty nice hand. That's right-handed. Warnke still rubbing up that ball. Getting ready to pitch now, getting a sign from Gabby Hartnett. And here it comes. Ball 1. High and on the inside. High and on the inside. Ball 1 for Appling. And ball 2. It broke sharply to the outside of the plate, about knee high. Boys playing in close now. Warnke using the rosin bag quite frequently. And the pitch. And he... A sharply hit ball down to Billy Herman at second, and it developed into a two-bagger. That ball took a nasty hop. It shammed right off of Billy Herman's... That ball would be called a hit. A ball that it looked like Billy could feel, but it took a sharp bounce off his shoe, and it's called a hit. And Lou Kapling pulls up at second base. Ball bounded high right out into the right field. And another run in, so it's 3-0 for the Sox. All scored and third base on that two-bagger. Which brings us to bat Jackie Hayes. 1 ball. Jackie Hayes, a hitter. And he, now, that's a little grounder down that went foul out into the third base coaching box. Ball 1 and strike 1 on Jackie Hayes. And 1 out. 1 out and 3 runs in for the White Sox. Warnke getting the sign. And the pitch. Lou Kapling taking quite a lead off second base. Ball 2 and strike 1. He stands up at the plate very much like Lou Kapling, about the same stance. And strike 2. Ball had a funny hop. Jackie Hayes took a wild swing at it and missed it a mile. Ball 2, strike 2 on Jackie Hayes. Lou Kapling on second base, 1 out. And the score 3-0 for the White Sox. Here's the pitch. Gabby Hartnett's calling him for the umpire. He got that ball, his right hand went up. But it so happened it was ball 3. Ball 3 and strike 2 on Jackie Hayes. Kapling taking quite a lead off second. And here is the pitch. He gets a hold of one. It's a high fly out into center field. He's got to run for it. Center fielder came in for that. Ogie Galland came in for it, but Billy Herman went back and took it just about midway between the second base and the center field bleachers. So it's 2 outs. Jackie Hayes flied out to Billy Herman, and manager Jimmy Dykes is at bat. Score 3-0 for the White Sox. And 2 outs. Lou Kapling still on second base. Jimmy Dykes at bat. Strike 1 on Jimmy. Right over the heart of the plate, about letter high. Still the second half of the first inning. Strike 2 on Jimmy Dykes. 2 out. Kapling on second. Strikes at bat. And 2 strikes on manager Jim. And he struck out. Went down swinging. That ends the first half, or the last half of the first inning.
Fred Frost. Ladies and gentlemen, the sum half 2 hits and 1 man left on base. And now, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday afternoon, we didn't have us, but this afternoon, it is our pleasure to bring to you that ace, that dean of sports announcers, the man amongst men, that outstanding man. Here he is, in the flesh himself, Hal Totten.
Hey, can I get my head in this booth after all of that? That's what I want to know. Whoa, man. Hey, George, what kind of a system do you use down here?
Oh, just, you know.
You're terrific. This is another, George. This is Watso. Gee, Watso.
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours. I see. That's the smaller system. Well, I see I've got a lot of competition. How things go yesterday? Here, I thought I was going to have a vacation. Here I am back at work again. No golf. Well, anyway, it's worth looking at, no matter what way you look at it. And going into the second inning, the Cubs are at bat. The White Sox leading 3-0, and we're bearing down with Let's see who's at bat. Frank Demery, the first man up there, and Stratton starts to wind up the pitch. The first one throws, and it's a fastball inside across the weight for ball one. One ball called. That's just Watson sitting down in his usual quiet manner. And there's ball two. It's a fast one inside, in which Demery had to twist away from it to keep from getting hit. Sewell picks it up, looks it over, and calls for another one, which umpire Ormsby tosses him, immediately throwing the other ball out of play. And Sewell stands there, rubs the old shine off, throws the ball back out to the pitcher. Stratton has it and also does a little rubbing up on his own hook back of the mound. It's 2-0, 2 balls and no strikes on Demery. First man at bat for the Cubs in the first half of the second. And there's strike one, a beauty down the middle across the letters. Strike let it go by without offering at it. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. He hits the next one, a drive into left field. Radcliffe comes in nicely, though, and makes the catch for the first out in the second inning. The ball was well hit and curving a little bit toward the line, but Radcliffe came in. He was playing clear out to the wall and made the catch easily for the first out in the second inning. 1 out, and Stanley Hack, the Cubs' third baseman, a left-handed hitter, tall, slim boy, steps up there to the plate. Hack at bat. And he takes the first one and slips by wide across the knees for ball one. 1 ball called. Throws again, and there's a ball inside and low. The count is 2-0. 2 balls and no strike. Stratton goes back, uses the rosin bag, steps on the slab once more. Winds up and pitches a high ball outside for ball 3. And it's 3-0 on Hack. 3 balls and no strike. 3-0 the count with the pitcher waiting out there again. Stands there with his back to the plate, rubbing up the ball. And then turns around, walks slowly onto the mound once more. Has the sign, winds up, and pitches, and the hitter gets ball 4. It's over the plate, but too low. And Hack gets a base on balls. It puts him on first base with 1 out in the second inning for the Cubs. And Gabby Hartnett, Cubs catcher, gets a hand from the Cubs fans and a big boo from the Sox fans as he steps up there. Gabby was protesting before on the air by Warnicki, claiming only 1 run should have come in when the ball that was thrown by Warnicki went into the canvas down the left field line. And the Sox fans, of course, didn't like that at all and are telling him in no mean language every time he moves around, which is the old city rivalry, boys, the way it should be on both sides of the field. Stratton throws the first one to Gabby, who takes it for a ball. It's over the plate, but too low. 1 ball called. Johnny Corden coaching down at first base, making all sorts of wild gestures to indicate that he thinks Gabby ought to get a hold of one. Stratton throws again, and Leo twists away to take ball 2. It's inside, drops out of Sewell's glove. And Luke picks it up, throws it back to the pitcher. Hayes dashed over to cover second, but Hack held first as the ball dropped practically out to catcher's feet. Nothing is the count, 2 balls and no strike. And the hitter hits the next run of bounder, which Stratton knocks down. He races over towards shortstop to get it, but it's too late, and Gabby beats it out for a base hit, putting Cub runners on first and second with 1 out in the second inning. And Johnny Gill is at bat. Hard smash right back at Stratton, who made a courageous effort to get it, knocking it down with his bare hand. It rolled over toward the shortstop, naturally with the ball hit straight through the box. Appling was tearing for second and didn't have time to stop and shift into the infield to get the ball. Gabby beat it out for a base hit, and Cub runners are on first and second with 1 out in the second inning. And Johnny Gill, husky left-handed hitter up there. Sewell suddenly calls time and asks for the pitcher to throw a couple to make sure that his hand's all right after stopping that one. Jimmy Dykes goes over to talk to him also. Monty seems to think it's okay, however, they're taking no chances. And Sugar Kane has started to warm up down in the left field bullpen just to be ready in case that Monty does have trouble with controlling that ball. You know, that's liable to numb the fingers and make it a little tough. But he's thrown a couple and seems to think he's all right, so we're ready to go again. Monty's all set now. Pitch throws. And Johnny fouls the ball down past first base. Karam's against the stand, bounds out toward the left field line. Wally Stevenson warming up French in the right field bullpen for the Cubs. Runs in to get the ball. Umpire Stewart takes it and throws it all the way into the screen. Now Stratton swings around. He's ready once more. Throws, and Gill lines the ball into right field for a base hit. Haas is coming in on it. The runner from second is scoring. The runner from first, Gabby, who isn't very fast on his feet, stops at second. Single to right by Gill. Driving in Hack to make the score 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. And leaves Cub runners on first and second with one out, one run home in the second inning. And Bill Jurgis at bat. Jurgis, the shortstop, at the plate. He's a right-handed hitter, stands there waiting as Stratton gets his time. And the hitter hits the ball, a slow bounder back to Hayes, who scoops it up, looks at Appling, he throws to first, and it's a double play, a good fast double play. Hayes to Appling to Ventura for the second and third outs in the first half of the second inning, ending the inning with 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base for the Cubs. And the score is 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. White Sox at bat in the last half of the second inning with Sewell, Luke Sewell, the White Sox catcher, the first man at bat. First man at bat in the third inning for the Cubs, or rather second inning for the Sox. Wait a minute, I'm going to keep them at bat. That wouldn't be so hot. Here we go in the second inning. I'll get this score, but say, it's sort of funny to see either Chicago team hitting first in an inning. Here's Luke Sewell at bat to start the last half of the second. He hits the first pitch, a high fly in short center field. Billy Herman racing back, finally calls for the ball and grabs it. He had to get it because neither Demery or Galland could get in quick enough to reach it, and so Billy Herman makes the catch pretty well out into right center, having to go a long way to get it for the first out in the second inning, and Monty Stratton gets a swell hand from the fans as he comes walking out of the dugout and up there toward the plate. Stratton at bat with 1 out in the second inning for the White Sox. The score is 3-1 in favor of the White Sox, and Warnke gets the sign, starts to wind up, pitches, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate about waist high. 1 strike to count. Warnke waits there again, winds up once more, and throws, and the hitter takes a strike over the heart of the plate about waist high, and it's 2 strikes. 2 strikes on Stratton. Again, the pitcher throws, and it's ball 1. It's over the plate for 2 low. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Monty. 1 and 2 with the pitcher ready again. Starts to wind up once more, throws, and the hitter swings it a bounder down to Jurgis, who comes over fast, scoops it up nicely, throws the first, and Stratton is out for the second out in the second inning. From the second inning for the White, and Riffrath, leadoff man and left fielder, steps up there to the plate. Radcliffe at bat. Winds up, throws, and Radcliffe takes a strike over the heart of the plate. Loosened up pretty well, although he was loosened up in the first inning when they got busy on him. He's loosened up too much. The next one to follow it up, round back of the plate for strike 2, making it 2 strikes on the Ripper. 2 strikes on Radcliffe. 2 out in the second inning for the Sox. They're leading the Cubs 3-1. Out in the second inning for the Cubs. Warnke winds up again now, throws, and it's a ball. It's over the plate for 2 low, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Radcliffe. 1 and 2 the count. 1 and 2. Pitcher ready once more. He's winding up. Throwing to the ball out to right center to make the catch for the third out. 3 out. The ball was mighty well hit, and Demery had to race back toward right center out in front of the scoreboard. He got that ball, although still within about 20 or 25 feet of the scoreboard. So it's no runs, no hits in the second inning, and at the end of the second inning, the White Sox are leading the Cubs by a score of 3-1. Well, Fred, you got something to say here?
I have, Hal. This baseball presentation featuring Hal Totten is coming to you as a presentation of the Voice of Labor. WCFL, Chicago. All right, Hal, it's yours.
Well, all right, I got it. In fact, I had it all the time. I was right over your shoulder. They got you out here in the cold now, Fred. You don't sit down there taking it like you did taking it easy in that air-cooled studio in that hot weather. Remember that, George? Oh, boy. What are you moaning about? You used to sit here. Look at what you got on today. One coat, one sweater, another coat. And I can remember when he used to sit here and once in a while even peel off that striped shirt. Here we go. Warnick gets out in the third inning. He got a nice hand as he came up there. Pitcher winds up, throws, and Lon swings hit a ball down to Dykes back at third base. Jim gets it, arches the ball across the diamond, and Warnick is out for the first out in the third inning. One out in the third inning for the Cubs. And Augie Gallan, the Cubs center fielder, steps up there. The leadoff man is back. Stratton stands there, getting his side, winds up, and pitches. And here's a high fastball inside for Paul Worth. One ball called. Sewell suddenly walks out into the infield with the ball this time before throwing it back to Stratton. Comes back behind the plate again. And Monty steps on the slab once more. Starts to wind up again and pitches. The hitter takes ball two. It's a curveball down by the knees. And the count is 2-0 on Augie. 2 balls and no strikes. Cubs in the last 2 innings have shown an inclination to wake this pitcher out. And there's a strike curving towards the hitter. Stayed over the inside corner a little above the knees to run the count 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Gallan. Augie flips the dirt aside, then steps up to the plate. Starts to wind up, throws, and he leans back to take ball 3 inside across the shoulders. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Gallan. Augie batting left-handed as he always does against right-handed pitching. Waits. Stratton winds up, throws, and the hitter swings it a high fly to right field. Haas jogs in easily. He's waiting for it. Has it, and it's 2 out in the third inning. 2 out in the third inning for the Cubs. And Phil Cavaretta, the Cubs first baseman, left-handed hitter also, steps up there to the plate. Cavaretta at bat. Stratton on the slab. Getting inside, starts his wind-up, and throws, and the hitter swings it a high fly out into short center field. Rosenthal coming in fast, Appling going out there, and Luke makes the catch nicely. Oh, he was going and still had his back to the infield as he caught that ball dropping out in front of him over his shoulder to make a nice play for the third out. And it's no runs, no hits in the third inning for the Cubs. The score remaining 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. Sox at bat in the last half of the third inning. The first White Sox hitter, Larry Rosenthal, who seems to be the big shot in the attack for the Sox so far, although Appling is also keeping up with him in the hit department. Each one has made 3 hits in the 2 games. Let's take a look to make sure. Yesterday, Rosenthal had 2 hits and 4 times at bat. Now Appling had 1 hit and 2 times at bat. He had the 2 walks. I knew their percentage was the same. So Rosenthal now has 3 hits in the series, and Appling 2, as far as the White Sox are concerned. Oh, Lucius Luke showing it's no luck that he was up there leading both leagues in hitting. Last half of the third inning, Rosenthal up there at the plate. Husky left-handed hitter, who, from all prospects, should be one of the real rookies of the year next summer when he gets the first full season. He hits the first pitch to fly to left field. Gill is going back, grabs for the ball, and makes a great backhanded catch of it. The only trouble was he wouldn't have had to make a great backhanded catch of it if he judged it right in the first place. Johnny went racing way back there to the wall, but he was running almost in the wrong direction. And finally, at the last minute, he veered over toward the foul line and made a one-handed backhanded stab of that long drive and held onto it for the first out in the third inning. And now Haas at bat swings the first pitch to foul it up into the second deck and a bounce clear back out into the field. And it's 1 strike on Haas. 1 strike to count. He winds up again, throws, And Mule swings and fouls the ball off the end of the bat. It just missed Benura. Dashed over and hit the stand to the left of the plate and rolled back out in the field. Zeke gets it, rolls it over to the fat boy who decides it should go into the screen, not the bench. Rolls it over to the announcer down there. So it's two strikes on Hart. With the pitcher waiting there again, he winds up and throws, and Mule takes a wide one low for ball. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hart. Warnke gets the ball back from Hartnett. Stands there getting his sign. He's winding up and throws, and the hitter swings to high fly out into left field. The left fielder Gill starts in on that, then changes his mind, backs up a little, and has that one easily for the second out. So it's 2 out in the third inning for the White Sox, and Benura is at bat. Zeke Benura up there with 2 out in the third inning for the White Sox. Warnke throws the first one. It's a strike over the inside corner, waist high. 1 strike on Zeke. 1 strike is the count. The pitcher waiting out there again. Stands there getting his sign. He winds up once more and throws, and the hitter swings and misses a fastball for strike 2. That makes it 2 strikes on Benura. 2 outs for the Sox in the third inning. White Sox leading the Cubs 3-1. Ready again, winds up, throws, and it's over the plate for 2 low for ball 2, or ball 1 rather. The count is 1-2, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Big Zeke. 1-2 the count. Warnke waiting for the sign, has it, winds up again. Throws, and the hitter takes ball 2, and Hartnett wags his head at Warnke as though to say that ball didn't go where he expected it to. Throws it back to Lon, flips the glove up over his wrist. Rubs the ball up a little bit, uses the rosin bag, and comes back on the slab. Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on Benura. Warnke again winds up, throws, and Zeke gets the 3rd ball. That one just barely missed the outside corner across the knees. And so Gabby takes the ball to look it over, can't find anything wrong with it, throws it back to Dick. Warnke wipes his hands dry, looks over the boys out there in the field, and throws the next one high and inside for ball 4, giving Zeke a base on ball. Well. He had 2 strikes on him and then threw 4 consecutive bad ones. So Benura gets a walk, and he's on first base with 2 out in the third inning, and Luke Appling at bat. And Lucius Luke up there, still going like a streak. Warnke seems to have a sign. He's ready to pitch and throws, and it's inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball called. 5 consecutive bad ones that Warnke's thrown out there. 4 after getting 2 strikes on Benura to walk Zeke. And now 1 on Appling. So it's 1 ball called with a pitcher waiting there again. Ducks his cap, swings around as he gets the sign. There's a stretch to first base. Then throws over there. The runner just barely slipped back ahead of the throw, and it was pretty doggone close. Zeke wasn't expecting that, and had a pretty big lead, so had to slide back feet first to get in there. 1 ball called, and the pitcher is ready now to pitch to Appling again. Still watches the runner, but pitches, and Luke hits an easy bounder down to Billy Herman, who gets it, throws to first base, and it's 3 out. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base in the third inning for the White Sox. And the score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox at the end of the third inning. Now, well, I guess they got somebody else down there because Fred's out here, but at any rate, it's the end of the third inning, so if you want some scores of what's going on in that World Series game, we return to the studio.
And here we are back in the studios to tell you that the Yankees are having a field day at the Polo Grounds in New York. Schumacher started out and was knocked out of the box, to be followed by Smith, who was promptly also knocked out of the box, and the right-hander Dick Kaufman has finally taken Smith's place as the Giant pitcher. Lazzari homered with the bases filled for the Yanks in the first half of the third inning. The score is now